Hello students, good afternoon. Myself Pradeep Hasan, and today I am going to discuss the topic work energy and power. Work energy and power. This is your topic, and we will discuss about what is the work. So, in normal language, we say we are doing a work. If we are studying a book, then we are doing a work. Or if we are going to a market, then we can also show that we are doing a work. In normal language, the work has different meaning. Performing any task in normal language is called a work. But in case of physics, work is not any normal task. In case of physics, work is defined and as a force into displacement. In physics, work is done only when if we apply force on any object and displace it in the direction of a force, then only the work is said to be done. In physics, work is defined as force into displacement. Here W is a work done, W is a work done, F is a force and S is a displacement. In physics, the definition of work is a force into displacement. And if we apply force on any object and displaces it through a displacement S, then the work done will be F into S. Consider a block of mass M placed on a table. If we apply force F on this block and displaces it through the displacement S, then work will be done. The amount of work will be equal to force into displacement. Means work in physics, work is defined as force into displacement along the force. Here we can see the work done depends on two things. The first is the force and second is the displacement. Means work determines two factors, force and displacement. If we apply force on any object, and the displacement of the object is a 0, then the work done will be 0. Consider that this is a wall. If we apply force F on this wall and this wall doesn't displaces, then the work done by the applied force will be 0. Because if we apply force and the displacement, if S is a 0, then work will be 0. Means if we are applying a force on any object and the object does not displace it, then the work done by force will be 0. Work will be done only when we apply force and the displacement of object is along the direction of a force. Then the work will be done. In case of physics, the work is defined as force into displacement. Force into displacement along the direction of a force. Here the work depends on two factors. The first is the force and second is the displacement. If any one of these quantity is 0, then work done will be the 0. Work is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. Work is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. So work is defined as force into displacement along the direction of a force. In physics, the work can be positive, negative. If positive, negative, or it can be 0. when a work is said to be positive. When a work is said to be positive, the work is said to be positive if we apply force on an object and the displacement is along the direction of a force. If we apply force on any object and that force displaces the object in the direction of a force, then the work done will be positive. Means the general formula for work in physics. Let us consider a situation. Let us consider a situation where an object is placed and we apply force F in this particular direction and the object displaces through the displacement S. Let this angle is what? Theta. Let this angle is theta. Here the angle between force and displacement. Displacement is along the horizontal direction and force is making an angle theta with the direction of displacement. If the force is not in the direction of a displacement, then the formula for work done is Fs cos theta. Fs cos theta. This is the formula for work done on by a force if the direction of force is not in the direction of a displacement. This is the general formula for calculating work done by a force, where F is the applied force, S is the displacement, and theta is the angle between force and displacement. This formula is used when force is not the direction of a displacement. So here the work depends on three factors. The first one is the force, second one is the displacement, and third is the angle between force and displacement. The work done will be positive if F is positive, S is positive, and cos theta is also positive. Cos theta is a positive quantity if theta lies between 0 to 90. If the angle between force and displacement lies between 0 degree to 90 degree, then the work done will be a positive quantity. And if the angle between force and displacement is greater than 90 degree but less than 180 degree, then the work done will be negative. Work done will be negative. Work is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. The work done depends on three factors. The first one is force, second one is the displacement, and third one is the angle between force and displacement. The work done will be positive if angle between force and displacement is an acute angle. The work done will be negative. The work done will be negative if the angle between force and displacement is an obtuse angle. If the angle between force and displacement is an obtuse angle, then the work done will be negative. And if the angle between force and displacement is a right angle, then the work done will be 0. For example, if a coolie carries a bag putting over his head, then the work done by coolie will be 0 because when coolie moves on a horizontal platform, the force applied by coolie, this is a coolie carrying a bag over his head, and the coolie is applying a force in upward direction and he is moving on a horizontal plane. The displacement is along this direction. Means the angle between force when coolie is carrying a bag over his head, then he is applying force in upward direction, but the displacement is in horizontal direction. So we can see here the force is in upward direction and displacement is in horizontal direction, the angle between force and displacement is a 90 degree. 90 degree. So theta will be what? 90 degree. So work done by pulley will be Fs into cos 90 degree, and the value of cos 90 is 0. So when, according to physics, when a coolie carries a bag over his head on a horizontal platform, then the work done by the coolie will be 0, because the coolie is applying force in upward direction and moving the bag in a horizontal direction. So there is no net displacement along the direction of a force. That's why the work done by the coolie will be 0, because in physics work done will be considered only when and the displacement of object should be in the direction of a force. If the body is not displaced along the direction of force, then the work done by the agent will be 0. So work is defined as force into displacement along the direction of a force. Work is a scalar quantity, its SI unit is a joule. The unit of work is 1 joule. 1 joule is defined as 1 Newton into 1 meter. If we apply a force of 1 Newton and displaces the object through a distance of 1 meter, then the work done by the agent will be equal to 1 joule. So 1 joule is the unit of a work, and 1 joule is defined as 1 Newton into 1 meter. Work is a scalar quantity. It may be positive, negative or 0. The work will be positive if the angle between force and displacement is an acute angle. The work done will be 0 if the angle between force and displacement is a 90 degree. And the work done will be negative if the angle between force and displacement is greater than 90 degree. So work is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. Now the next point is the energy. How the energy is defined? What do you mean by energy? Energy is defined as ability of doing work. Ability of doing work is called energy. If any system has a capacity of doing work, then we say that we have energy. Energy is defined as ability of doing work. The energy is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. Energy can be classified into many types such as kinetic energy, potential energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, mechanical energy. These are the different forms of energy. And how the energy is defined? Energy is defined as ability of doing work. अगर हमें कहें कि उस किसी पर्टिकुलर टेबल को एक प्लेस से दूसरे प्लेस तक ले आए, तो अगर हम उस टेबल को एक प्लेस से दूसरे प्लेस तक लाने की कैपेसिटी रखते हैं, तो उस केस में हम कहेंगे कि हमारे पास क्या है? एनर्जी है। एनर्जी का मतलब ये है कि अगर आपके पास वर्क करने की कैपेसिटी है तो हम कहेंगे कि हमारे पास क्या है? एनर्जी है। मीन्स द एबिलिटी टू डू एनी टास्क इज कॉल्ड एज एनर्जी, एंड एनर्जी इज a scalar quantity and its SI unit is a joule. In nature there are different forms of energy such as chemical energy, electrical energy, mechanical energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. Then first of all, we will discuss about the kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? If a particular object have ability to work because of its motion, if any object has an ability to do work because of its motion, then we say that the particular object is possessing kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. For example, if a truck is moving on a road, it has a speed, and because of speed, the truck can do a particular task or a work. So we say that the truck has a kinetic energy. If we fire a bullet from a gun, the bullet has speed, and because of its speed, the bullet can do a task or do a work. So we can say that bullet has a kinetic energy. Energy means the ability of doing work is called energy. Kinetic energy. Next is the potential energy. Potential energy. That form of, if any object have ability to do work because of its position, then we say that it has a kinetic energy. For example, a stressed spring has a kinetic energy, or a stressed bow has potential energy. Chemical energy. If any object have work doing capacity because of its chemical bonding, or because of energy lies between the atoms of a molecule, is called chemical energy. For example, we burn the petrol, and petrol has a kinetic energy which converts into heat energy and light energy. So there are different forms of energy. Energy means the ability to do any task. The unit of energy is a joule, and it is a scalar quantity.